Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and I want to say Happy New Year again to everybody. 2026, make it a great year, and hopefully your resolutions are something that you already had, you already had in motion, whether it was in 2025 or before that. Not, it could be a last minute thing, but it's better if you kind of go on something you kind of had planned prior so you can kind of try to make certain things fall in line if you have a game plan. But hey, sometimes spur of the moment things they do work at times. So I don't want to make anybody feel discouraged about what they're going to do. As long as you do you, you're positive. That's really what matters. And if you're here, please hit the thumbs up. So let's jump right into this real quick. So this weekend, this Saturday, we have the MVP card that will be on DAZN. It's going to be a pretty nice card from what I'm seeing. One of them type of cards to where it's a lot of people that I'm getting more familiar with. So I won't go too deep with certain fighters because some of these ladies, I haven't been able to follow their full career, but I do my research and stuff like that. So this card will be on this Saturday, January the 3rd on DAZN. We're going to have Stephanie Han, 11 wins, no losses, no draws, versus Holly Holmes. Now, Holly Holm is a ex UFC or MMA fighter, and she's southpaw. Holly's record is 34-2-3, and this is for the WBA lightweight title. Now, I seen an interview with Stephanie Han where they were showing her training and then talking. They also showed Holly Holmes, who looked to be in very, very good shape. And so did Stephanie. Now, Stephanie said, hey, I'm a fan of Holly Holm, but pretty much this is my time. And I'm not letting her take this opportunity away from me. And she also said that she's going to have to knock out Holly Holm. So that's definitely a fight I look forward to seeing. Now, as far as knockout percentage, neither lady has a very, very high KO ratio, but still, it can happen. In boxing, it can happen. And, I don't know who's going to win for sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. And like I said, Holly Holm, being an older lady, she's in very, very good shape. And when I seen her on the mitts in her workout, she looked very, very good, like very, very sharp. Very good accuracy, nice crispy punches, nice snap on the punches and stuff like that. So definitely be watching out this Saturday, y'all. Now in the bantamweight, we have Ebony Bridges, who is originally out of Australia, but I want to say now she might reside in the United Kingdom. And she will be fighting Alexis Ariza in the bantamweight division. Now, Ebony is she is a pretty good fighter, but she doesn't necessarily just make me go like, oh wow, she's not the type of fighter to where I look at her like I would look at somebody like having a brain freeze, but Alicia Baumgartner. She's not that type of level in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see how this looks. Both women haven't had a lot of fights, to be fair. So it's definitely one of those fights that I think it'll be evenly matched. But I do take Ebany to probably edge this fight. So we'll definitely see come on Saturday. Come Saturday, we will see how everything's going down. Also on this same card for Saturday night, Crystal Rosado versus Tania Walters. Crystal stands at 5'3". Her opponent, Tanya, is only 5'1". So these ladies are rather both short in stature. Tanya Walters' record is 7-3-0. Meanwhile, Crystal Rosado record is 7-1-0. So that's a pretty evenly matched fight. Like I said, they're both short ladies. Maybe Walters is giving up 2 inches in height, and Walters has 2 more losses than Crystal Rosado does, but that's a pretty evenly matched fight. So what I can see so far, it looks like they have this pretty organized pretty well, where they have women on the majority of the women are on the same wavelength. So they're not having somebody who had a whole lot more experience for the most part versus another lady who has very little experience. So these ladies both had, like I said, Walters had a total of 10 fights. Her opponent Rosado only had 8 fights. So that's not a real big gap there. The main event, the featherweight division, Amanda Serrano versus Reina Tellez. Reina's record is 13-0-1. So she's only had 14 fights in her career. So in this regard, this is a little different than the other ladies I mentioned, because as we know, Amanda has had a pretty full career. Amanda Serrano has a 65% KO ratio. Her opponent, Reina, has a 38% knockout ratio. So Amanda's knockout ratio is significantly higher. And she's back at her normal weight, so I think she probably wouldn't have lost much. If anything, she probably has her speed maybe a little bit better, her accuracy, punch placement. So it's going to be good to see her do her thing for sure on this MVP card on DAZN. Now, in about 30 days from now, because today's the 1st of January, on the 31st, we're going to have the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson main event. And on their undercard, we have Carlos Adames versus Austin Elmo Williams. Carlos' record is 24-1-1. Elmo Williams' record is 19-1-0. So you got Elmo Williams, who had a total of 20 fights, and his opponent, Carlos has had 26 fights. So that's a pretty even amount of fights. Maybe like six fights different. Yeah. Carlos has had six more fights, which is not a real huge difference. Now, Emma Williams is a southpaw fighter. Southpaw stance fighter. Now, Carlos Adames has fought guys like a common opponent between both. They both fought Hamza Shiraz. But Carlos beat him by a split decision. Hamza stopped Emma Williams when they fought. Carlos Adames also beat Darianchenko. Emma Williams won his last fight, which was last year. He stopped Ivan Vasquez. In this matchup, I'm going to edge Carlos Adames. I think he'll win. I think he'll win and beat Emma Williams. But I think he'll have to grind him down. He's going to probably, slowly break him down. It's not going to be like a second or third round stoppage. I think it's going to be more or less maybe go to the mid rounds to like round 7. And then if you can get Ammo to start to decline and slow up a little bit, and his engine is not as strong, I think Carlos will start to up his game. He'll press the gas a little bit and probably try to stop Ammo Williams within the distance. But let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what you think. Now on that card on the 31st of this month, we also have in the featherweight division, Shushu Carrington versus Carlos Castro. Now Shushu is definitely the type of fighter to where me, myself, and I think many others may agree. He definitely he looks good to the eyes when you see him fighting. He definitely looks good to the eyes. And he's only fought like 16 fights. He's 16 wins, no losses, no draws. Only age 28. He's an orthodox stance fighter out of Brooklyn, New York. His opponent, Carlos Castro's record is 30 wins, 3 losses, and no draws. He's also orthodox stance. And his age is 31. So what we can see here is that Carlos has had pretty much like double the amount of fights as Shushu Carrington. But I saw an interview with Shushu, and he looks locked in. And the way he was talking, he doesn't seem like he's overly arrogant or nothing like that. He know he has to come in there and do a job. And, and he has a title opportunity at this moment, his first title opportunity. So I think Shushu Carrington definitely has a point to prove, and it'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight for sure on the 31st. So let me know what your prediction is with Shushu Carrington versus Carlos Castro. Now, we have Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz on this card as well. Keyshawn Davis' record is 13-0-0. He's an orthodox stance fighter out of Norfolk, Virginia. He's also known as the AKA the businessman. Now we saw Keyshawn Davis KO Baranchek back in 2024. He stopped Jose Pedraza. Jermaine Ortiz, he's an orthodox stance fighter as well. His record is 20 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. Now, Jermaine Ortiz, he did well when he fought Teofimo Lopez back in 2024. But to me, it's like Jermaine Ortiz wasn't busy enough against Teofimo, and he was outboxed, and he came up short. Jermaine Ortiz also suffered a loss to Loma back in 2022. And he also fought Jamel Herring. Now he beat Jamel Herring convincingly in 2022, but then Jermaine Ortiz, he had a fight with Loma to where he was doing pretty good in the earlier rounds, but then as the rounds went later on, Loma started to pick up and end up winning that fight. So definitely I think Jermaine Ortiz needs to make sure with Keyshawn that he doesn't start fast and then fade like he did against Loma. He has to make sure whatever if they're going 10 rounds or 12 rounds, he has to make sure he's mentally ready, physically ready, conditioning wise ready to go for all rounds, because Keyshawn Davis is young, he's hungry, he has a point to prove, and this will be like one of the biggest names on his resume. And I look forward to this one as well. So let me know what y'all think. If you have a prediction, drop it in the chat or in the comment section. Jermaine Ortiz versus Keyshawn Davis on the undercard of Teofimo versus Shakur Stevenson. Let me know who y'all think is going to win and how. And make sure you please take a quick second, hit that thumbs up button, please. Now, speaking of them guys, now I saw something on Twitter by Richardson Hitchens. And this is what he said on Twitter. He said, I did sign to fight Jermaine Ortiz. Things got switched up the last second. I'm going to be better in a fight. I'm going to be in a better fight within a very short period of time. Can't wait to announce and defend my 140-pound title for my fans. And then he says, sorry, this was out of my control, 100. So Richardson Hitchens says that he had signed to fight Jermaine Ortiz. And but it ended up being, of course, a situation where Keyshawn Davis will be fighting Jermaine Ortiz. So, I mean, whoever Hitchens does fight, Hitchens fights. Hey, if he beats them, and if Keyshawn handled his business with Jermaine Ortiz, let's get Hitchens versus Keyshawn Davis at 140. That would be a fight that I think everybody kind of wanted to see to an extent anyway. So that could kind of lay that up nice and perfectly. So let's just say Like I said, we got the Jermaine Ortiz versus Keyshawn Davis. Let me know your predictions in the comment or the chat. Also, um, being that Richardson Hitchens said initially he was supposed to fight Jermaine Ortiz. At least that's what he's saying. Um, let's just speak hypothetically. Do you think Richardson Hitchens would beat Jermaine Ortiz or Keyshawn Davis? Does he beat either guy? Or does he beat both of them? Let me know your opinion in the chat. Also, soon we're going to have a fight with Ajit Kabiel and Damian Kimba. It's going to be good and refreshing to see Ajit Kabiel back in there. And after this fight, hopefully, his management, his team, already got an idea of his next opponent. We need to keep Ajit Kabiel active. That's a big problem, especially with heavyweights. These guys sit out the ring way too long. You know, we've seen AJ out the ring for a while. Of course, the unfortunate wreck just happened not too long ago. We've seen Tyson Fury out the ring for a good while now. We've seen Ajit Kabiel out the ring for a little while. Andrew Ruiz is like a seesaw. He's always having a long hiatus before, in between fights. So these guys in the heavyweight division, they need to stay more active. They need to try to get at least 3 fights a year if they can. If they can't get at least 3 fights, no less than 2 fights a year. Because otherwise they're getting ring rust and it just makes everything not line up so good as far as the landscape of the heavyweight division. You know. So let me know what y'all think on those. On those right there. I can read it back one more time. MVP card on DAZN on Saturday. Stephanie Han versus Holly Holm. Who's going to win that? Let me know. We have Ebony Bridges versus Alexis Arizia. We have Crystal Rosado versus Tania Walters. Let me know your prediction. The main event, Amanda Serrano versus Reina Tellez. What's your prediction? Let me know. Now, January 31st on that card, we have Carlos Adames versus Austin Elmo Williams. Who wins that fight? Prediction, please. Also, what's your prediction on that same card? Shushu Carrington versus Carlos Castro. What's your prediction? What's your prediction? Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. What's your prediction with T.O. versus Shakur Stevenson, the main event? What's your prediction? Let me know. And also, like I said, hypothetically, if Richardson Hitchens were to fight Keyshawn Davis or to fight Jermaine Ortiz, do you think Richardson Hitchens would beat either guy? I just want to know what y'all think. As far as the main event, T.O. versus Shakur Stevenson, I can't wait to see it. I feel like the way that Jermaine Ortiz was acting with the way he act towards Tefime, letting him be the puncher, letting him set set the stage and set the rhythm. That's not going to be the way that Shakur Stevenson will fight. He's not going to be like Jermaine Ortiz and let and let T.O. get in the rhythm. In my opinion, I think that Shakur is going to fight him not like he fought Zapata, but he's going to be the Shakur that we are known to see. The Shakur that people may say is boring because they think he's not stopping certain guys or whatever. But I think he could put on a dominant performance. He could. But then at the same time, Tio Lopez is very athletic as well. Very athletic, very acclimated to the 140-pound division. So, you know, don't know exactly how it's gonna go. But definitely a fight to look forward to. Now, what do y'all think about the heavyweights? Ajit Kabiel versus Damian Kimba. Damian Kimba's last fight, he stopped Joey DeWaco, who was rumored to have knocked out Anthony Joshua in sparring prior to the Andy Ruiz fight that AJ lost when he lost his very first fight. The rumor was Joey DeWaco had knocked out AJ in sparring. Of course, Joey DeWaco denies it, but then I seen something on FB with him commenting under somebody, Joey DeWaco, and he pretty much was responding in a riddle. I was trying to read between the lines, and I think that situation actually may have happened. That AJ may have already been concussed in sparring prior to the Ruiz fight. But hey, that's definitely like a whole nother subject, right? But speaking of AJ, y'all, this is we'll see how things go. I mean, with what he went through and what he's still going through, the trauma of all that situation of losing a best friend and another good friend who's your trainer, he may never be the same again from a mental aspect, psychologically and all that. Man, that's gonna be a heavy thing, man, for sure, to lose him in that type of way. Now I have seen a few posts on FB, but I don't want to say nothing's official yet. So I will keep it as real as I can to say, hey, please don't take this and run with it. I'm not for sure because I haven't seen nothing official with Deontay Wilder versus Usyk. Although Wilder said the talks look very good, but I haven't seen no official thing yet. But I see like things being shared as if the fight is a done deal. But nah, I won't say it's official until I see it maybe on ESPN, maybe if the Talk Sports guys talk about it over in UK on their platform. And I know that my fam Cam J, he would know. Once it gets official, he'll definitely let me know that the Wilder versus Usyk fight is all the way official. Also, follow me on my Twitter page. Follow me on my Twitter page. Follow me on my TikTok. Make sure you tell a friend, like I say, a friend or three, about Ring Walk Boxing Podcast YouTube channel here. Make sure you let them know. Let your family know. Let your friends know. If they're boxing fans, let them know to come check me out. I go live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the USA. So yeah, just let me know. And a message to Cincinnati, Ohio, right here, our city right here, and just worldwide. Please, please, y'all. Let's pray. Let's pray for peace. Let's stop the violence. Here in Cincinnati, the gun violence is really getting bad. And already this new year, there's already been lives lost. Or at least there was a shooting victim in Cincinnati, shot multiple times. So my message to these young guys is please put down those guns, pick up the gloves. Do it the old school way. Go to a neighborhood gym and get in there and work out. That way you're physically in shape, you're mentally letting off stress and stuff like that, and get around some positive influences in the gym. Gyms in downtown Cincinnati, all around the city of Cincinnati, the west side or wherever. Try to get yourself involved. And if you don't do boxing, it don't have to be just boxing. Get involved in some type of trades or skills. Get involved in something, carpentry. Try to learn to be electricians, HVAC, barbers, different trades, auto industry, Learn how to do something productive and be a upstanding citizen and member of society. But we have to stop this gun violence. It's so unnecessary. It's causing it causes a trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? If you take the life of someone, best believe it's going to affect that person's whole family. And a lot of these people that are leaving and being killed in the streets, these are fathers, these are mothers, these are uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters, and they are leaving here at a young age due to the violence. And it leaves their family in turmoil. It it has effects on these children, where you see a lot of children out here acting out, have a lot of anger issues, growing up because they're mad at the world on what happened to their loved one. It has to be a better way. People have to think things through a lot deeper and a lot more than just to pick up a weapon on impulse and just do something outlandish, and to do something that you can't take it back. Once the damage is done and you go through with that, it's irreversible. Once you take a life, that life is gone forever. So let's keep it positive in 2026 from today moving forward. And make sure you tap in on this Sunday when we recap the fights from Saturday on the MVP DAZN card. We will be doing a recap on the female boxing from this weekend. So let me know y'all predictions in the chat, please. Make sure as you play this back or come here later on, hit the thumbs up here on this channel. like I say, tell a friend or three about Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I will be having some special guests here in the future. I'm working on that, y'all. So believe me, I'm going to be working on that for sure. And shout outs again to my Zone 15 family, to all my Cincinnati family, 513. Everyone be safe, and I will catch you on the next round. Peace.